Welcome to Litter Media Live Special Edition. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Our special guest today on a special edition is the Reverend Moses Edwards Jr., pastor of First Baptist Church in Chillicothe. And he is here today to talk about the 200th anniversary, which is coming up soon for First Baptist Church. Our interview today is presented by Adina Health. Back with Pastor Edwards right after this.
Mark came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
We are back with Pastor Moses Edwards Jr. of the First Baptist Church of Chillicothe. A newcomer, actually, to Chillicothe.
Yes.
I think you told me before we went on the air, you've been actually pastoring at the church for several months.
Yep.
But just moved here about a month ago.
Yep, just got here a month ago, Mike, and I am just so excited to be here in Chillicothe, Ohio. I'm from Columbus, Ohio originally, and it's a little bit bigger than Chillicothe. And so it's interesting because once you get into the community and get ingratiated into the community, everybody knows you. Yeah. So I'm not quite used to, going to the grocery store and everybody saying, "Hey, Pastor, I enjoyed your message, the other day." But it's a wonderful feeling. I'm so glad to be here in the community, and I'm glad to be here with you. As a matter of fact, I have not been able to wear this shirt. And because I had an interview with you today, for some reason the shirt fit.
All right.
And so I'm going to have to come back again so I can get into more shirts.
There's always reasons the Lord brings us back someplace, and you never know what that's going to be. About the church,
yes,
this
sir.
will be the 200th anniversary, and that celebration date is when?
It is July 12th through the 24th. July 12th to 24th. We were actually founded on July 13th, 1824.
Now, give us a little bit of the history. A lot of people that watch this program know a lot about First Baptist already, but just for those who may be tuning in for the first time and don't know that history.
Yeah, so on July 13th, 1824, in a house owned by David Nickens, a lot of people are familiar with the David Nickens Heritage Center here in Chillicothe, Ohio. Well, it was named so because David Nickens is the first pastor of First Baptist Church. So in a home with about 6 individuals, a majority of those his family members, they got together and they realized that there were no Baptist churches here in Chillicothe, Ohio, specifically for African Americans. And so what they did was they got together and they formed First Baptist Church. They had one of the white Baptist pastors come in and read them the Articles of Faith, read them the Baptist Covenant, and from there they formed First Baptist Church. They had service at the Quinn Chapel AME Church in their basement for a while until they moved into their facility that we're currently in about 1867.
So it came a number of years later.
Yes, so we didn't actually get the facility until 1867. I believe they went from, they started off in the AME Church. I believe they went to a few different houses after that, but we actually got our own structure about 1867, and we've been there since that time.
Now, you told me that, of course, we've done some background with David Nickens about the museum and so forth, but something that maybe got by me before that I didn't realize, David was the first black Baptist pastor or pastor period in Ohio?
First black Baptist pastor in the state of Ohio. So prior to David Nickens in 1824, there was no black Baptist pastors at all. And so he felt the need to be of the Baptist persuasion. And so he went to the local Baptist church here and told them what he wanted to do, and they ordained him. After leaving Chillicothe, he stayed there for about 6 or 7 years, and then he actually went over to Cincinnati, Ohio, and started the first black Baptist church in Cincinnati, Ohio, Union Baptist Church, who Dr. Yates is the pastor there now in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have a really good relationship. We talk every now and again, and he encourages me and say, we're some of the oldest Baptist churches here, so we got to stick together. So I'm so thankful for that. David Nickens was a young man when that happened. I believe he was in his late 20s, and I am also the youngest pastor in Chillicothe, Ohio currently. So I see a lot of similarities between me and David Nickens,
Obviously, 1824, this is pre-Civil War.
Yes.
African Americans had not yet been freed from slavery.
Absolutely.
But in our part of the country, north of the Ohio River, there were many free blacks.
Absolutely. So a lot of the blacks that were escaping from slavery, coming to the northern states, and when they settled here, they would go to a Black Baptist church, such as First Baptist Church. We were also very instrumental in the Underground Railroad, assisting those slaves who were escaping, giving them places to stay, giving them food, seeing them to their next destination, whether it would be settling here in Ohio or continue to move up through Canada. We were very instrumental in that.
Now, some of the pictures that we have of the church, one of them involves the bronze historical marker that Ohio puts out on Ohio history, and it has a great depth of detail on that sign about the history of the church.
Yes.
And of course, as you mentioned, the Underground Railroad, a big part of what the early church was doing here.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't know that the depths of the history of Chillicothe and how instrumental they were to things like that. Prior to the Emancipation Proclamation, slaves were escaping. That's just what they were doing. It wasn't anything fun. It wasn't an adventure. It was a life or death situation to them. And so Ohio itself and Chillicothe in specific was very instrumental in that. So being able to be a part of such a place so historical, with so much meaning to African Americans and African American history as a whole is such a blessing. I am a historical connoisseur, I like to call myself. And so I believe God knew what he was doing when he brought me here the first time I came the First Baptist Church. I'm looking around like, wow, this is very historical. And I'm like, I felt at home immediately. Yeah. I went to the basement, so they haven't made too many changes to the actual basement, the basement. So the basement really still looks like 1824. Wow. So I'm like, I know there were some slaves hidden here somewhere, And so, yeah, I'm just enjoying my time here. I love my church so much. And I'm so thankful just to be the 32nd pastor of First Baptist Church in its 200-year history.
When you put it in that perspective, over 2 centuries, that there's only been 30-some pastors.
Yes.
That's like, you got to stay for a long time.
Yeah. Listen, I'm talking to the deacons at the church now, like, hey, let's start looking at this retirement package,
So how are we going to celebrate these 200 years?
Yes, so we'll start off on July 12th. We will have a banquet at Bell Manor. Starts at 6:00 p.m. Tickets are still available. I hope that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Tickets are still available. If you need tickets, you can contact me, call the church, or you can message us on Facebook, and we'll be able to get that information for you. We are giving away 7 awards to community members who have been instrumental in not only First Baptist Church and the upbringing of First Baptist Church, but we're giving away some awards to people that have been doing just an excellent job in the community. Dr. Troy Gray over at Zion Baptist Church, who has been doing an excellent job in the community. We're giving him an award. Also, Bishop Melvin Moffmer at Quinn Chapel. I'm sorry, not at Quinn Chapel, at Original Glorious. We're giving him an award. He's getting the David Nickens Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
For his many years of service at that church. And then we're recognizing some of our members at our church for their long-standing commitment to our church. So that will be on July 12th. 6:00 p.m. is when we'll start. And we have a special guest, Bishop Timothy Clark from First Church of God. I call him my uncle, Uncle Tim, will be there. And we're just so excited about what God is getting ready to do. Tickets are selling fast, so if you have not got your tickets, please, ma'am, please, sir, go get them. Saturday, we're having a community day. We're giving the opportunity for community organizations to come, set up resources. We'll be barbecuing. We'll have some games out there for the kids. We have DJ Hazel Tanner, the Chillicothe's favorite DJ, coming through. And we're just going to have a good time and support. Immediately after that, we're having some fun with our reunion choir. So our reunion choir will have a bit of an anniversary rehearsal in preparation for the next day, which will be our finale on that Sunday, where I'm having a former pastor come. His name is Jonathan McReynolds, who was instrumental in the David Nickens Heritage Center. So the David Nickens Heritage Center was founded under his tenure. And so I thought it would be appropriate to have him come back and preach that morning. Then in the afternoon, we're having a mortgage burning. We're having dinner, and then we're a part of the Ohio Baptist General Convention. So our state convention president will be coming to close us out on that day.
Will there be tours available for both the church and or the David Nickens Museum?
Absolutely, all weekend long. We will be giving tours through the David Nickens Heritage Center and through First Baptist Church. All you got to do is just walk up to somebody and say, hey, can you give me a tour? I got the keys to both. So we will be giving tours on that day. And a lot of people do want to see, the historical accomplishments and the historical value of what the church has to offer. So, yes, we will be giving tours. Feel free to come on Community Day. That is July 13th, which is our actual anniversary, and come see what we're all about. We are one of the fastest growing African-American churches here in Chillicothe, and God is just really blessing. And so we're just so excited about what we're going to do in the future.
Now, I think you told me, Pastor, that the actual church that you're in now, that you got in there in 1868? That's when it was built?
1867 is when that structure was built. Actually, says when we got in that structure. Now, I don't know if it was built prior to. I'm guessing that it was and belonged to a different church, maybe a Lutheran church, from the looks of the stained glass windows, because those stained glass windows have been there for quite some time. Yeah. So I believe we purchased that particular structure around 1867. I have to check with our historian, Beverly Gray. She can give me more information on that. If I'm wrong, she'll going to correct me immediately after this.
Bev, Dan Ramey and I have known Beverly for many, she is a treasure.
Yes, she is.
A treasure. But what I was getting at, in 43 years, you'll have to still be here for the 200th anniversary
of the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll be there here, and we'll do something even more special for that. Maybe you can do a live, since you'll be here with us, you can do a live podcast from the church.
Right, or in heaven, I'll be calling it down. But yeah, since he's such a young man now, his chances of being here are a lot greater than mine. Yeah.
Listen.
Well, we appreciate your coming in. What a great, not only a tradition, but a great heritage.
Yes.
To have a congregation that's been in the community for 200 years. It's hard to get my head around that.
It definitely is. The oldest church where I'm from in Columbus, Ohio, is called Second Baptist Church, and they haven't hit 200 yet. I believe they were founded around the 1860s, 1870s.
Wow.
So when I tell them about my church, being 200 years old, it just blows some of my friends' minds. Like, wow, like how do you even maneuver? And then when you go into the church, it's modern looking, so it doesn't look like 1824, which is such a blessing. So there's not stuff falling apart. They've kept really good care of the church over these last 200 years. And I believe that speaks to the pride that the people have in the church, not only the people within the church, but the people within the community. Our slogan is, we're the church where people matters. So people within the community are familiar with First Baptist Church. I walk door to door and I ask people, hey, have you ever been inside the church? And the majority of them say, it's our neighborhood church. Right. Even though they might not show up every single Sunday, they're still familiar with the church and they consider it their neighborhood church. And so I just love that about this community.
Well, I like what you just said, going door to door. We don't have enough of that today, not just from pastors, but the congregation reaching out into the community. And going back to that 200 years, with God, that's just that's nothing. Eternity is that's just a tiny little bit there.
Right, absolutely. It's nothing to God. It said a day is like 1,000 years to God. So there's 200 years, just like a millisecond.
Yeah, a flash. Yeah, and we're there. Pastor, again, we hope that we will be working with you for many years to come, and we welcome you back on the program anytime you got something you want to promote.
Listen, I need to wear more of these shirts, right? So I will be back for sure. If I may, if you are looking for a church home, please feel free to come visit us every single Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Our website is www.fbcchillicothe.church. You can look up our information on there. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I did that.
All right. That's a young person's that's a young person's site. Us old geezers were on Facebook all the time, or YouTube.
Yeah, so please feel free to look us up, but we would love to have you here with us on a Sunday morning. You should come visit us on a Sunday morning.
I would love to do that. One day. I'll skip out of my church.
What church you go to?
I go to the First Wesleyan Church on South Mulberry Street.
That's right up the street.
Just up the street.
Okay.
So it won't be that far for me to walk down there.
You can walk down there. That's right, yeah.
All righty. Well, we've been talking with the Reverend Moses Edwards Jr., pastor of First Baptist Church in Chillicothe, again coming up on their congregation's 200th anniversary. Our Litter Media special edition today brought to you by Adina Health. I'm Mike Smith.